Yeah, man, give them the melodies.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Done no, but obviously them man there's in the building. Hashtag DMD podcast. Myself smokes.
Big Rom, you can't even close.
Yeah, man. The camera can see what you're doing.
But you know what it is? The group's chatting rubbish and
Yeah, don't worry about the group. Don't worry about the group, bro.
Yeah, come on. There, Big Rom, you can't even clone again.
Big Wezzle, no intro, you done know.
And obviously we got a special guest with us today.
Guests.
Guests, plurals.
That's what I said.
They said guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, guests.
Yeah.
Sorry, we never heard the S.
Okay.
Sorry.
Frontline therapist. No, we had Esther last year.
Yes,
It's about a year and a bit, isn't it?
I think it was this time last year, October.
Yeah, it might have been this time.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, that's when Rollins was away on the SAS. So yeah, it's good to have you back. We got Shane with you as well. Another staff. Yeah, we have to.
Energy up,
Yeah,
man.
with the energy up. Now it's good to have you back. Obviously, it's been a mad year. A lot of things going on. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna dmdlive.co.uk if you want to send in any questions, any dilemmas, anything like that, topics and that for the week going forward. But first of all, how are you? How are you keeping?
Me? Okay, start. I'm good. Cold. I think it's really, really, really cold. But yeah, now I'm good. Travelled further this time because I used to live local. I used to live in Dalston, but now I'm from Croydon now. So
Ooh, South. Ooh.
it's just a visa. I'm only there on a visa. But no, I'm actually good, to be fair. I can't complain. I'm thankful.
Yeah, that's good. How you keeping?
Yeah, I'm alright. Not too bad. Like I said, I spoke to you guys off air because I was a bit disappointed coming up to this side of North London, having to go past the Spurs ground.
Don't worry.
I said there's too much Spurs right there.
Spursy.
Yeah, but at least they chucked away a 3-goal lead, so I'm a bit better now. But I'm alright. I'm doing good.
Yeah, that's good. What's the man them saying?
Yeah,
saying?
fam, you know.
Yeah, we're good, man.
Okay, yeah. You know what? We're just gonna get straight. We was gonna address some things from last week, but we'll deal with that next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know where to start with this one because obviously this year has been a mad year. How has it been with people coming to you? Is a lot more people coming to you? Is the pressures more? Is it like what's going on with everyone's mental state at this precise moment of this? You get what I'm saying? It's been a very hectic year.
If you just refresh the people's memories of what you do as well, just so
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
So last year I came on and I set up a affordable counselling service, particularly for the Black and Asian community. And since then, so since COVID hit, it's exponentially risen, which in one sense is good because it means that there's a service there to cater for the people. And in another sense, it's obviously sad because it means more of us are struggling and having difficulties within ourselves. But I think what it highlights is that COVID, because it slowed everything down, people had more time with their thoughts.
Yeah.
So
correct.
these issues didn't just come because of COVID. They've been there before COVID, but COVID allowed, I guess...
exposed
it.
Yeah.
And you had more time to think. If you're working from home, you've got more time to think about the issues that you're facing. So, and obviously Black Lives Matter as well really brought in a lot of people. So from end of April till now, it's like 100% increase. And I think Shane can probably agree to that. But yeah, so many Black and Asian people are struggling, and now at least there's services out there to help them, particularly those out of London as well. So because of COVID, we've gone virtual.
Okay, yeah.
So we are able to literally have people in Scotland, Ireland, Wales,
Wicked.
Places where you wouldn't necessarily access like a Black therapist or an Asian therapist. You can now because we're working at home. So yeah, it's been quite crazy. It's been crazy.
Hey, what would you say is like one of the most common factors of that's affecting people's mental health at this precise moment? Like, i.e., money, relationships.
Do you know what? I was thinking about that because I assessed a young Black male. So whenever I find that most men that come through come because of relationships.
Oh, is it?
So
What, black men?
men in general, but yes, the black men coming through.
Well, at least they're going. No.
no,
At least they're going because they wouldn't go before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's something to do with a
The
relationship.
last straw, you know.
That's the last straw. What are you saying? Nothing else gonna work, so we've got to do this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I've noticed. I think there's 1 or 2 guys that have come because they've been really just thinking about that. It's nothing to do with relationships, but majority of them said, "Oh yeah, my ex told me to come," or my current girl told me to come, or they've noticed patterns in their relationship and they're not happy about it anymore. And even some have come saying that they've been emotionally abusive, or they've been, what girls are saying right now that men are players, all of these things, and they've noted that, and they don't really want to be hurting girls like that, and they notice how their childhood has had a big impact. A lot of guys, a few guys came via the podcast last year actually.
Yeah,
Wicked.
you know what? Someone hit me. Someone was like, "Yeah, boom!" Like, they hit you up, and I was like, "Rah."
Yeah.
Wicked, man.
No, that's good. Like, I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
when they said that to me, I was like, "Rah!" Like,
It's a
I was
pat on the
actually-
back. You learn.
not even-
No,
it
but
went down to me though.
No,
It was
but
down to-
you brought her to the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's good, man.
No, but hopefully we can get more. Like, if more of us can open up about, because I said that on the last episode, man, I've been therapy, and what you're saying is they dig deep down into your childhood, because most of your childhood shapes your adult life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
agreed.
It does help, and when you start to find the inner self, you think of like, what? You start to notice certain things. It might not maybe help all of you because you've got enough work to do, but it helps you find certain triggers and factors of that. So if more people do sign up and phone you and that, that's good. We need more people, more to help. So
more black men.
a lot more black men to come and help, and Asian men as well. You get me? Come and
He's using it as a point of contact.
Yeah, it was a point of contact,
The
man.
point
But
of
obviously,
contact,
man's got the
don't talk about
camera. You get me? But obviously, it was dumb. But no, we need more. More people to come forward and really find their inner self, because black men were struggling as is.
Do you know what? Sorry, go on, Ron. No, go on. You got to answer a question.
Go on.
No, you got to answer a question.
Go on, do your thing.
No, I was gonna ask Shane the same question, but if you got something,
Go on.
I was gonna say, Shane, if you just introduce yourself and answer the same question, please. Thank you.
What was the question? Sorry.
What increase have you? What's the main issue that you
What's
see?
the main issues? Yeah, that were coming.
People are coming forward for
since,
you.
Since I've been practicing, because I'm a trainee and I've been seeing people in placement since last September, and generally, it's relationships. I found that both with male and female clients, where it's been, there's just something, they've just got to a tipping point where it's just like, whatever's going on for me isn't working, and I need to address it. So definitely relationships, or just having that sense of introspection to, as you've already touched on, to be like, oh, do you know what, actually there are maybe a few things that have gone on in my past that I'm now starting to see have an effect on me in the present. And what's interesting when you're talking about, your childhood and how it can affect you, like in your present, we never really have a choice, because if I said to you like now, okay, as a child, when you grow up, you could have these personality traits and you'll behave this way in relationships, this way in intimate relationships. If I gave you a choice, you'd probably take all the positive ones and say, I'll take that one, I'll take that one, I'll take that one. But the way we function, we kind of go with what we know. So if you're seeing certain things in the household, that's how people behave. Okay, that must be right, so that's how I'll behave. Or, you're not being given certain things, so you're maybe not being given that love. Well, okay, I've not been given that love, so I don't give it to others. And it's really interesting, because I have to do my own personal therapy myself. So
how is that for therapists? Giving therapy. You have to receive therapy because you're taking on so much other people's problems.
So I have therapy and I have supervision where I discuss my clients. I mean, it's just eye-opening because I'm learning a lot about myself as the sessions go by, if I'm honest with you. Who I was before I started therapy to who I am now, that I just look at things completely different.
Yeah, definitely.
The one thing you kind of got to be careful of, like especially when you're training, is that you don't start. My wife always says, "Stop therapizing me." That you don't start therapizing
Everybody, innit?
Yeah, everyone that you come into contact with, which I don't think I do, but you just start to think.
Just be a McDonald's line, you know. Just be like,
Someone's kicking off because they didn't get their chicken.
Yeah.
They're like, what's going on for you?
Like, you think that was your childhood because you didn't get a 199 meal when you was little?
Why did he remove the gherkin and get extra cheese? I wonder what that's telling us. Yeah.
So what's a therapist is like actual job? Like, what's your job to do? Like, what is?
For me, I would say excuse me. The key thing is to be present with the client, because you know it's probably one of the most powerful things you can do is just being present and hearing them and just giving them a non-judgmental space.
Yeah.
Because if I said to you, you can go and see someone and basically pretty much say anything and not be judged, that's quite powerful. Because normally, I don't know, there could be something going on for any one of you, and you think, yeah, I'll go and speak to you about it, and you know, you mention it, and you might say, oh yeah, I don't agree with that, or I'll speak to you about it, and you might say, yeah, no, that's great. Whereas, you know, you go and see a therapist, and you won't be judged.
Yeah, because you're just basically giving a story to a stranger, so they're going to look at it from an outside point of view and give you a real honest opinion of how what they've given you anyway. You can only assess that. Do you get what I'm saying?
So is it just opinions you give? You don't try and help them?
No, we definitely try and help them, because.
How can you? No, go on.
No. Your question. I know where you're trying to go.
You know what I'm going.
No, say it.
Because there might be, so like through your upbringing, or through like traumatic experiences, there may be certain habitual patterns of behaviour that you develop that you aren't necessarily aware of. So you know, classic one may be that, I don't know, if you ever really badly scolded by a parent as a child, like really badly told off, and shamed, that whenever someone tells you off, you just withdraw, you look away, you look down. Now, as a child, that might have protected you when you were young in terms of like the exposure to that shame, because sometimes it can be emotionally overwhelming. But by the time you get to, you know, if you're my age and I don't know, your wife or your boss is like, oh, how could you do that? That was so stupid. And you're just like, that's not going to help you thrive.
Yeah.
So if we can, you know, it's not easy because you may not pick up on them straight away because it takes time with a client. But if you can pick up on certain patterns of behavior, then you can, certainly in the type of therapy that I practice, you just help to raise the client's awareness about what they're doing and the fact that there is a choice. Because sometimes people think, oh, you know, why do I keep on doing these things? And yeah, they just see it as this is the only thing I can do.
Yeah, you get into it. Yeah.
So I think, I don't know if this is where you was going with it, Rom. So you're actually, so you do listen to them, but you're actually there to try and give them, like, don't know what the right word is, not a new way of thinking, but the certain tools how to conduct their life going forward. Would that be a fair?
You're facilitating the process. So the thing is, without going too complex into it, there's different what we call modalities or orientations. So for example, Shane's training to be Gestalt, so he can explain that. I'm a TA therapist. So there are different theories of, you can say, the same thing. And it just depends as a person when you're training, what makes you think, oh, I prefer that way of thinking. So I think what Shane was saying, which was really, really good, is that with therapy, we're just giving you options. So if you think, so for example, I get a lot of people in the creative field, there's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
A lot of men, so I'm using men because I really want to target men this period. A lot of men come through and, you know, the stereotypical thing is, you know, you want to make money, you want to look after your family, and a lot of black men, a lot of Asian men, a lot of people from minority backgrounds have a lot of pressure, you know, from family and just from society. So they got a lot of anxiety. They won't show it, But when they're in work or when they're in different situations, they're constantly overthinking. So that's another example of when they come to therapy, that is actually what's going on. Why do you have to make that money by this age? Where did you hear that from? Where is it? What happens if you get to 30 and you haven't got 500 grand in the bank? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
You
But
know.
where does that initial pressure come from though? Because you know what, when you're
Social media, innit?
yeah, no, I feel like even before social media, I feel like as a
Peer
younger,
pressure.
you look at. We might have looked at 30 years old as old, like rah. When man touched 30, man. When now man's at 30, it's like no, man's not far from you, you know. Don't do. I get why they're at 30. You might say like, no, you're old. No, I'm not that old. I get it, but then there's always that pressure of feeling like because they're at a certain age,
You
you
should
want to
have certain things in place.
and it's not even always anyone saying anything to you. It's just, I don't know.
But it's just, I think sometimes like it's society, because even I remember being 12 saying, oh, when I'm 18,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. And then I was 18 and I was like, rah.
Yeah. And then it's 21. Right.
But when I'm 21 though and I'm a full adult now, yeah, everything's different. I was 21, I was like, Mum, have you done my washing? I ain't got no socks. You know what I'm saying? I was screaming out, I can't wait to get...
Yeah, but by the time you get there,
I think it's
you
the
realise-
government, innit? Because they allow you to do certain things at certain ages, innit? So when someone's
so
doing
they
a
put-
certain thing at a
Yeah.
certain... So you're 18 and you're allowed to drive or whatnot. And then someone's got a big car at 18. You're allowed to drive. You're both allowed to drive, but now I got the big car. You're thinking, rah, we're the same age, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't, yeah.
Like, I must can get that car as well, because you're... And then the pressure starts from there.
And I
innit?
feel like raves as well had pressure. I can't lie.
what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna raves when
Yeah,
because they used to have
21.
under 18s. Then I don't. When I got a bit, the under 18s were done cool. Then it was over 18s. And then some raves are over 21s. The over 21s raves look lit. Can't go to the over, so you just got. You get what I'm saying? Then
You
when get
always
to
want to
20
go to the...
Yeah, and then there was over
These times it's the
25
same
raves.
music and...
It's the same. No, but
No, but
some
I know-
raves are
I know-
different.
yeah.
though. Some
But-
raves are different, fam.
But I get what you're saying. It's mad because
It pushes up.
it's like I didn't go to raves. When I got to like 18, 19, I'm not going to no over 18s rave. I'm like, no, that's young.
You wanna
I need to
go-
go to over 20. Even though I'm 18, 19, I'm like, no, I'm going to go to over 21s.
It's real, fam.
And then now full circle, I'm 30, I'm 30 odd. Later 30s, I'm like, boy, I don't really want to go to the over 40s thing. That's a rough. But I don't want to be in there when I see certain people like, Uncle Wes, buy me a drink. I'm like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. Uncle Wes, buy me a drink. Like, your uncle, you must have money in your pocket.
I lie.
Yes, home time.
Yo, that's the funniest. Yeah, we're at that age, you know. But yeah,
But what about you guys? What are the pressures that some of you guys face?
do you know what? I feel like the daily pressures. No, there's a lot in it. Like as a man that probably has a man that has kids as well, working, trying to do this. I feel like there's not enough time. Sometimes that's what I feel like. I feel like personally I'm chasing time while losing time, which is a mad thing.
Yeah. And then you can't stop because then you're wasting time.
Yeah.
No, that's real. It's real. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's in between that, but I don't know if I feel the pressure. Maybe sometimes, some days when man feel run down, you have them days, but I don't. I just keep going. I don't feel like, yo, I'm under pressure right now. I might have some days I feel under pressure and everything might come a load, but then normal days it's like it's routine now. It's second nature. Just keep moving in it, get up and do what I got to do. But I could understand why a lot of people would be going through pressure. I feel like my job that I have is sort of secure, so I'm not. You get what I'm saying? It would man go through whatever, but it would be hard for them to just get rid of. They can't just say boom. There's a process before. Do you get what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't have that. It was just made redundant, gone, and I get it will be hard for them. So that's what I was thinking. What would be the pressures? Relationship would definitely be one. I probably thought money probably would have been a difficult one as well. As black men as well, as a black person, just walking out the yard is pressure. Do you get what I'm saying? So walking out the road, the first thing you're worrying about, all right, cool. Am I gonna buck anybody on these roads first? Do you get what I'm saying? Or am I gonna be identity, whatever? Then you gotta be police. Like even when we was chilling outside the other day, police just pulling up on us. We're talking, have a conversation. Like, you're right, mate. And I just thought about it after, like, right. Like, I don't really chat to people like that. So you lot pulling up, and they were upset that we just turned our back and carried on the conversation. It was like, that's a bit rude, man. We don't chat to strangers that's gonna pull up on cars anyway. Just because you're police, that don't give you any more.
Yeah, because they didn't even notify you. Yeah,
You
mark.
didn't notify.
You're not even in a
You're not in no
unmarked
marked
card, like, so.
Yeah.
I expect me to just respond to you, like.
So we got.
You wasn't girls, like.
So it's just that we got to deal with that, and then it's just everyday life pressure. But I suppose we just got to try and get on with it and see what we can do.
I think with me, pressure, I don't pull it on the forefront of my mind, innit? So I probably got loads of pressure, but I'd never pull it out there. It's right at the back, and it'll probably affect me later on because it might, you know what I mean? Everything might just come at once. But I really, like, I feel like I've trained my mind in a way where, like, I don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? I just get on with it. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I was saying earlier about kind of like how things become like habitual patterns? Because you talking there, because I'm like that as well. Where you just kind of, I'm literally shrug my shoulders. Yeah, I can carry everything. You're kind of pushing it down, and then you just end up in that situation where I don't know. Someone may say something really just innocent, and you either end up flipping, get angry, or bursting into tears because there's only so much pressure you can take before it kind of
crescendos.
Yeah.
With the cooker pops, with the pressure cooker bursts. Too much pressure.
Could be one thing that someone says that don't mean anything, and then for you, that's a madness.
Yeah.
And you can blow up.
Don't know, man. I think man's a bit stronger than that, man. I don't know.
You see? but there's only so much that you might be able to take much more than the average person.
Yeah.
But then the explosion might be much bigger than the average. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
You might hulk out, bruv, and you're big already.
To the opposite of being strong and taking it is not weak, they're not taking it, if that makes sense. It actually takes a lot of strength to admit, you know, I know it's the cliche thing to say, but when I talk to a lot of people, obviously they come a bit embarrassed because, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm seeking for help. But then at the end of the assessment session, they're like, right, this was good, you know. I thought this was going to be like, but actually I can talk about it. I spoke to one guy yesterday and I said, you sounded quite reflective. And my ex-girlfriend wouldn't say that. And I said, so what's the difference now? Why are you talking to me in a way that you can analyse your thoughts and feelings? Because I'm talking to a neutral person. So I'm not shouting or screaming at you. I can actually talk to you and think about how I might have come across and how might she have come across. And one of the key things that he said is he realises that when he's not in a committed relationship, for example, he can do all of the boyfriend things. But as soon as you kind of say like, okay, so are we now committed? He starts to just shy away. And he says it's something to do with he's never seen consistency in his father. His father wasn't around. So he just realised, and because his, you know, unfortunately his mum's got cancer, so that pressure from seeing his mum suffer and then seeing what happened with his ex-girlfriend got him to the point where he's really like, you know what, I want to seek therapy. Not that nothing's happened like right as a crisis, but he's just seeing everything mounting. He's just like, you know what, his job is secure, everything is secure, but in terms of his relationships, he wants to sort that out because he wants to get, you know, have a family, and he don't want to be that father like his father. He don't want to be like his father. So it doesn't make him any weaker from coming. It actually means that he's looking into the future and saying, you know what, I don't want to repeat the patterns that I can see and that I can't see. There's something that you just can't see. You know what I mean? Like, you know the blinder spot when you're driving, there's just things you can't see. Have you ever hit a cyclist and you're thinking, wait a minute.
I think that's a woman thing, so I think that's a woman thing,
Mark over a cyclist.
That's a woman
Where
thing.
did you come from? This is what was that blinder spot that we all have. And the therapist is a bit like a mirror, it's like your reflection. So, you know, you might be saying something like, yeah, she said this and she said that. And I go, oh, but she said that. And you go, yeah, that sounds a little bit stupid though, doesn't it? Because someone else has just reflected back what you've said, that in your head, you've been agreeing to, and you think, actually, yeah, maybe I should have listened to her, or maybe I should have thought differently, or actually that's a different perspective that you're showing me.
So what do you say within relationships that come to you, the problems could be the communication then? Most of the factors within it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had a male client where one of his big issues was he'd always put everyone else's feelings in front of his own.
Okay.
So just all the time, and then it just got to a point where he wouldn't even be heard. Like he described, trying to get time with his wife, like trying to book in time with his boss. Like their relationship, and it ended up in this kind of almost like employee manager kind of.
Well, man, got book time with wife here now. Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, definitely a lot around just communication. Because the thing is, I mean, I've just been sat here thinking, and it's one of those things where, you know, I've been married for 14 years, but no one ever
Well
tells
done.
you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no, that's big. No, proper. Trust me.
No one ever
How old are
tells
you? Sorry.
39.
Okay.
Yeah, no one ever tells you.
Hey, sorry, you're 30 now. Look at your strong hairline, man. Hey, listen. Be happy with what you got. Be grateful.
I was thinking about getting some of that can of spray just to do it. I don't know, like my granddad, where he'd just end up bald on top and he had a Jerry comb and he'd still be combing it out with the afro.
Yeah, that's some old school ways. Yeah. I'm still pimping. Nah, stop that. Stop. Just stop yourself now, innit? Just stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, with relationships, it's like you were never ever, like, unless you guys are going to correct me, I never had a parent or parent figure say, look, this is how relationships work. They're not easy. This is how you deal with conflict in a relationship. You just kind of find your way in what you've learned.
Do you know, on that, I will say one thing though. Shout out to my dad. When I was 18, he took me to the pub and he gave me a whole list of things not to do. Yeah, I rate him for that. He told me, I gave me a whole list of things. Yeah, son, don't do this, and yeah, don't do that, son. And then you see that?
You might have to give that to the youngest.
Nah, give it to my son. Yeah, I'm not really giving the blueprint out like that. That's sacred.
What kind of behaviour is that, bro?
Have we got passed down generational, fam?
The black youth,
Yeah. I might write a book one day.
Yeah, do it.
Digital download and that.
Digital download, yeah, trust me.
So how do you like, when you hear certain traumatic situations, like you keep like that, you know what I mean, that neutral vibe, like not showing
I was gonna
emotion,
say that,
or
poker face.
too sympathetic to them, because it might like lead your, obviously you don't judge, but it might kind of sway your, do you know what I mean?
It's difficult because with it's a difficult one because like with the type of therapy that I specialise in, it is very much about bringing yourself into the therapy when necessary. So sometimes I've had clients say stuff to me that's really traumatic, really upsetting, and it might just be for a simple gesture, me putting my hand on my heart and just saying, "Oh my goodness," you know, because sometimes you can be telling these things, because I know I've had this experience in my own therapy where you're telling stuff and you kind of feel a bit alone. I'm putting all this stuff out there. What are you thinking? Because you're not saying anything. You know, you're not really giving anything away in your face. So you kind of, it can be a bit shady when you're thinking, oh, should I have said that?
You give away all of that and then say, so how did that make you feel?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But my thing is then how do you stay impartial then? You know, like if I've come here and you saying you're not getting judged, if you give me a reaction, that's not judging it, no? Do you understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no.
if I can see a sadness in your eyes or something, you know what I mean? Like, isn't that still not having an opinion, even though you're meant to be impartial? That's
You know what? That's the thing. So Shane was right. It is a non-judgmental space where you're not going to be said that's wrong or that's right, unless you're saying you're going to go kill somebody. Then that's a bit different. You know,
I'm gonna get here.
But then you can't be non-judgmental. You're right. Actually, you're not non-judgmental, as in you will react to certain things that's being said.
Yeah.
Now, there are some modalities that don't do that, but majority of modalities nowadays do talk about actually showing some sort of emotion. You know, if you're just sitting there blankly and you're talking about something so traumatic, like Shane said, it can be very shaming because you're thinking like, right, I'm telling you that somebody did this to me and you're just looking at me with your big eyes like, okay, what are you saying? If you say something like, well, that sounds really, really difficult. Now, for some people, that might be like, that's really patronising. So sometimes it's about the person. That person might want you to say nothing.
Yeah, true.
Because they, you know, some people even feel like this is going to be a lot for you, and you're thinking it probably isn't, but okay, you know, you don't want me to say anything. Some people will be very annoyed if you don't show any type of emotion. So it is sometimes about following your intuition with the person and being true to yourself and authentic. It's all about what we call congruency. If I feel uncomfortable when you're saying something, I might say, you know what, this is what you've gone through sounds so uncomfortable. That's me being honest. I feel uncomfortable, so I'm saying that I'm uncomfortable. And usually if it's done at the right time, tuned to the right time, the client is like, oh my God, that's how I feel. I feel so shamed. Thank you, you're actually seeing me. Or they may not say that, but in their head they might feel seen. They feel like, wow, someone actually sees me. It's not about saying, oh, there, I hear, it's a really sad story. But if someone said, like, yo, I got shot a few times, you might feel like, rah, that's a deep thing. But if you just was like, yeah, my bedroom got shot, it's like, well, I know I'm not talking about the bedroom. I'm talking about me right now.
I kind of want to touch on that subject, kind of. I was thinking in my head, like, while you said about the killer thing, if someone comes to you and says, yo, man, I just murdered 3 people the other day, boom, 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 how do you take that news? What do you do? What do you do with that?
3 people.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying he might.
Hopefully you got a panic button next to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Police.
How do you take that? How do you take that kind of news?
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen as often.
Yeah.
But what? So I guess because of it as a service, so there is a client privilege relationship, a bit like a lawyer.
I was gonna say that, and you got that.
Of course.
But the law says that if you are at a risk to yourself, you're a risk to others, and you're at a risk to kids. And obviously, there's the Terrorism Act. I think there's something about drugs as well, and there's one other thing that you have to tell, the law. But yes, if someone basically says that I've killed somebody, or I'm going to kill someone, I'm legally bound to say something.
Okay.
So I am telling you, tell me everything. But if you tell me you're about to kill somebody, I am not going to be an accomplice. I am not going to
Why
be
is that in the
custodial.
terms and conditions?
It's in the terms and conditions.
Okay,
So the first session,
you can tell me everything, but
well, you
say
can tell me that,
boom,
but I might have to then break it, because the thing is, why would you then tell me
Break
that?
it.
break the
confidentiality.
Yeah.
There's a confidentiality clause. Everything is confidential, barring if you're going to harm kids, harm yourself, or harm somebody else. But the thing is, what's underneath that is, if you went to kill somebody, why are you coming to therapy telling me about that? Do you know what I mean? You got to understand what made you now say you've now killed 3 people. Because if you done it, you wouldn't want to tell anybody about it, because then you've given evidence.
Some people that kill me are bossy still. No, they are though. That's how they get caught, because they go around telling people, isn't it?
Yes, of course. But generally in therapy, I don't think that happens. That probably like a 0.05. That doesn't happen often. What you do get a lot in therapy is probably self-harm and suicide.
Okay, cool.
And then because you might have like domestic abuse, like the victim comes because the perpetrator is harming them. But generally speaking, the main risk that you would presently find is maybe mental health, like a breakdown. They maybe have a mental health issue, or they're self-harming, or they want to harm themselves.
Yeah, let's get on suicide, because suicide within men a lot is high. I don't know if it's higher in black men or not. I don't know the statistics on all of that. I don't think there is
stats right now.
There's not. Okay.
Try to look for them. There's not like major stats.
Yeah.
That say between what age is it, 35 and 49 or something like that is the leading suicide, but then I don't think they've broken that down into race and
Okay, cool. So then within that, what's the causes or the reasons for people's depression or wanting to feel suicidal or harmful? Does that come back down to relationships again?
I'll say mine, but you can talk about this because you're a man. But from what I've researched, relationship is a big one. Massive changes. So like divorce or separation from the partner, being taken away from your kids. Of course, finances will always will be there. But I think it's sometimes a combination of a lot of things. But relationship is a big one, not just romantic, but it could just be feeling really alone. And a bit like you said about the pressure cooker. The thing is about men. Men do typically tend to pressure build, and then blow, and then seek help.
But sorry, go on. No, I got to remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
Which is not good, but it's understandable because of men, and then obviously black men in general. I have found with the service, I'm getting a lot of young men, so even younger than us, like in their early 20s, which is amazing. That means they haven't let the pressure go into their 30s and 40s.
Yeah,
they're doing it when they're in their 20s, early 20s. But yeah, so that's from my research. But obviously, yes, a man, you can talk about that. But yeah, from my research, that's what I've found, and just from friends in general. But then I think what you said, Smokes, about not having time. I think a lot of men. So I've got friends that have gone through it, and they're like in due time, but they're just trying to sort out certain things. So it's always like, I'm gonna go therapy. I want to speak to somebody, but I need to get certain things settled
in place. Yeah,
and then nothing gets settled. 10 years later, you're like, crap.
Time's gone.
Time has gone. Oh my god, I really need the help now. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So you do get a lot of men in their late 30s, 40s, even 50s seeking therapy. And not that it's over for them, because it's not, because there's still hope, but they feel like life is over. They feel like, well, I should have done this 20 years ago.
You know what's crazy as well? I saw a post the other day on Instagram, and it was about a guy who crashed his car, or he was trying to commit suicide in his car, but he never, did you see it? He never died. But now he's saying, I don't know how many years later, but he's saying it's the best time of his life. Like, he's so happy now, blah, blah, blah. And he posted that picture to say, right, at this point of his life, he's ready to kill himself. And now his life's turned around. You get what I'm saying? So things can change over years. Like we've seen this year, things can just change like that rapidly. You get what I'm saying? And then who knows, 2021 might be lit again. Everyone's partying. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the days and the weeks seem so much longer than it actually is, because you're going day by day, but things are going quick at the same time, but it seems like it's slow. It's like, right, everything's happening right now. Whereas there is a bit of time to kind of change things and build upon over certain years. That's why they give you like 5-year targets, like, yo, where you're going to be in 5 years, because sometimes it takes a certain amount of time to even get to a certain place. You get what I'm saying? So
can I just say, sorry, before Shane goes in, one of the reasons why I think the rate of suicide is high is because when men do end up trying to kill themselves, they do more effective methods. So like driving in a car. To actually, that's probably highly likely if you're intending to kill yourself, to work, or jumping off a bridge, or hanging, where females typically do overdose and like trying to cut their wrists.
Okay.
But men will look at like
we're extreme.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a kind of amazing thing about your minds as well, in a positive way.
You're trying to let people
you guys
know,
are
like,
very
listen,
effective, but you find effective methods to really kill yourself, and that's the thing. Where women will take pills and then wake up and think, damn, like that didn't work. Where men ain't they ain't going to the paracetamol cabinet.
Do you think that? Do you think?
They're drinking the bleach.
I know this is bad to say. Then does that mean?
Be careful, fam. Be careful, fam.
Does that make men dramatic then? Because we're trying to make a big scene, fam. No, real talk. Like, as in, like,
what do you mean by dramatic?
No, because I think of times, like, of you, I don't know, like, you get into an argument or something, but it's like you want everybody to know that this is happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you're saying car crashes, jumping off a bridge, these are things that you want to either be in the papers or be like, you want to let things know. Whereas if women are just taking overdose, that's things you just do behind the closed doors. Like when they found Whitney Houston, it's just like, they found her in her bathroom. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that people that commit suicide are trying to just make, but I'm saying the thing, because you're saying about men being creative, sometimes we can be dramatic in certain things. Even, that's what I'm saying, in relationships, a man might be more dramatic about how he feels it on that side of, like, if she's saying something to him or whatever, he might make it bigger than what she was actually saying. Whereas the women would just say what it is, like, no, he was just being whatever, and keep it moving. I don't know, but that
sounds like modern men still.
We say that's not it's an old school man then.
No. I gotta bust out saying that. Shane, you gotta make your point, but I need to say this to you, look. It's just about what my opinion is. These are what tell you, I'm quite old school with my mentality and how I see things. I don't know. I feel like nowadays, the thing of being a man, I think that's been taken away from us. Like, in terms of where it's like, all right, I'm a man, I need to get on with it. I need to work, or I need to provide, or I need to have that about me. I can't laze about. Whereas now, and there's a thing that's come, and I feel like it's just come out last year. Anxiety.
It's been there for
but what I'm saying is, enough people I know, and I can't do that now, it's giving me anxiety. Brother, what happened about getting on with it? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Now, to me, there's women, see a woman, and this comes down to illness. And I'm one of them guys as well. When I'm ill, I'm mash up. My mum been mash up, and she still cooked the dinner, still had my uniform ready, still, do you understand? My missus, she'll still do what she needs to do, and she's mash up. But like, you got that in you, but I just think a lot of men nowadays just are just very like, I don't know, they've softened like. Before like a lot of, I don't even know how the army's still about. No, I don't know how the army's still about. No, because no, it can't get shouted at. Do you get what I'm saying? You shout at me, it throws me. I'm like, what happened to the man? Shout at me like what? It's not, you know what I'm saying? Just firm it like.
But ain't that part of the reason why man them got mental health?
You see,
Man like you.
Yeah, I'll say that, yeah. Because even like my son at 4, like there's some things he'll cry and then he'll be sitting there like, I understand you get upset about certain things. Like one time I told him to turn off the computer. It's time to turn it off now. He was on the hype, but he turned it off. But I saw he was a bit upset and I said, it's all right to be upset, but I can't have floods of tears because you turned off the computer because there's nothing to be crying about like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Certain things.
Yeah, but it's like, but you got to allow him to express himself. I do. If he cries, he cries. But what I'm saying, if it's stupidness, I'm sorry.
You're going to have to say something.
Yeah, that's stupid. No, I'm not. No, you're not going to. What? No.
Do you know what? It's
sorry, I had to get off my chest. And I've been feeling that for years. Yeah. I'm like, yo, I can't go into war with none of you. Not like I'm gonna go to war, but yo, man, my nothing. Anxiety's kicking in. I can't. That man's arguing with his girl. His woman's. Babes, I can't deal with this. My anxiety's kicking. Brother, how are you gonna help her if there's a fire in? See, my thing is nowadays, if there's like a fire in the yard or something, the man's gonna look at the woman. What we gonna do, babe? Put his arms out, babe. What we gonna? And I feel like men are going that way. I'm done now, Shay.
It's a difficult one because you make some fair points, and I don't know if it's society as well, because I do think, like, compared to like 20-30 years ago, there are more pressures because you've got like social media, media in general, and maybe because these things are more in discussion about anxiety and stuff like that people are becoming more aware of it, and that maybe, you know, in our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation, they just soldiered on because that's all they could do, because there were no
breaking down in
therapists or counsellors, and you would be told, you know, to man up or to
but to be fair, in their time they were doing handiwork, carpentry, and these things keep you mentally and physically stronger anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas now we're just sitting down on phones in our yard going mental, innit?
Your job could be just sitting. Yeah.
But when you're physically doing something, it helps your mental. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Totally. So where it changed from the mechanical to information or whatever world that used the factory world to information now, we're doing less. Even the jobs, we might have jobs, but less work.
Yeah. That is a good point, because with if you were labouring or building, like you said, you're working your body, but you also work in your mind. Yeah. Whereas, like,
so when you go gym,
you're sat in an office for 8 hours punching data.
Yeah, just boom. But when you go gym, you feel. That's why when you go gym, you feel physically, mentally stronger. Do you get what I'm saying? So maybe that's what's missing. You might need to bring back certain jobs.
No, the robots are cheaper. Robot don't need a holiday. Robot ain't got sick days or got to take their kids to school.
Yeah, but what happens when the robots start having sick days and that? What would they get more rights than humans?
I need an oil change.
One oil change.
That's an oil change, you know. But go on. Were you gonna ask something?
No.
Yeah, but you see, but that's what I'm saying. I still feel like it's like, I'm not saying people that, cause let me start again. So I do understand that about men not being able to talk, and I think therapy is great. And what people have to realize is, go and do it. You don't have to tell no one. Yeah. You can go to a therapy. People don't have to know what you're doing. So that stigma don't have to be there because it's just something you're doing. Because people go and sneak off and do much more dodgy stuff. You get what I'm saying? You have your secret life there. So you can go and do it. But I feel like it's an excuse now. I don't know, people have got lazier. I get what you're saying about the pressures, but I don't know. It's just like I feel like there's excuses now.
Oh no, yeah. To a degree, there is there's definitely a sense of kind of like entitlement.
Sensitivity, that's what I call it, being sensitive. The women are becoming more tougher, and like the men are, it's like, for example, I work in social housing.
Yeah.
I prefer the women operatives. You send a woman to the job, she's gonna look, she's gonna see if she can do it, she's gonna try this angle, try that angle, try that angle. I only call you if she can't.
Yeah.
A man will get there. The thing was in the place that it said it was, you know. I'm gonna put the job back. You're like, brother, open your eyes and look around. You said it was the bathroom light. It was actually the kitchen light, so I'm gonna put the job back. Fix the person's light, you're there, do you get what I'm saying? But it's just now I just, it winds me up, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I think I was going to say, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I meet a lot of the children of that generation. I'm from that generation.
Yeah.
And they say that though their parents are strong and they appreciate the strength, there was other things that lacked, like the emotion. Or sometimes taking it out on the kids, the frustrations that the parents carried and they were strong. So yes, your mum will cook you food even though she's got a bad back, but she will slap you for no reason because she's just vexed. So there are other things.
Getting beaten for no reason.
Why's your face like that? I used to get on the regular. That bottom lip used to get
So
to.
the children would be bearing us, and then even the younger generation would face the other elements where they can see the strength of their parents, but there were the other things that were lacking because they were so strong. If your parent is in the harsh reality of the world, it's very difficult for some parents to become then soft.
Soft,
at home.
yeah.
So they become hard. Then what then happens is, I don't know if it's a perfect balance where, like you said, there's a perfect balance of what you said. You can cry, but what you're actually crying for isn't what you should be crying because you hurt your leg. Not because I tell you to come off the phone, the computer, and you got to go to bed because it's bedtime.
Exactly.
You know, that makes sense. And I think that's the perfect balance. You can cry, and after you cry, I'm going to ask you, why were you crying? What was the purpose of your tears? Did it solve anything in this situation? So I think that's the balance. Whereas our generation and the bit older got told just don't cry.
Do you want me to give you something to cry for?
Yeah, do you want to give something?
That used to be the biggest head fuck.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, you're winding me up, and that's why I'm crying. Then you asked me, you gave me something to cry for. Now you want to give me something extra.
And now you want to beat me more.
And that's when you start going,
Like holding them back,
Hold them in, you know.
That's mad.
So I think what you're saying is a balance. The way you're raising your son is actually let him express himself, but you know, on certain things you don't need to cry on that. And I think I said it last time. I think the society goes swings and roundabouts. It's like, you know, what, a year or two ago, toxic masculinity was a big thing, isn't it? And then now I'm hearing toxic positivity. You know,
Yes.
So everyone's a narcissist right now, and everyone's emotionally abusive, and it's true, everybody has anxiety, but I think it's because people are just trying to name things of what they've experienced.
Okay.
You know? There wasn't a name to it when you feel a certain way and you're overthinking. You just like, my mind just thinks a lot, isn't it? I just think a lot. But now we might say, it's anxiety. Doesn't mean you've got an anxiety disorder. It just means that you maybe think a lot more than somebody else. So I think what it is that people name things, and then everyone in society, Twitter becomes, you know, Twitter warriors tell everybody that you're a narcissist, you know.
That's why man don't go on Twitter.
And
Twitter
Offset
fingers.
is an emotionally manipulative person because he bought gifts, but she accepted the gifts. You know, so all of these things,
like-
people want to become, you know, what's it called? Psychologists. And then in a year or two time, it calms down and people then begin to understand, okay, you know what, not everyone's a narcissist. Not everyone that looks at themselves in the mirror is a narcissist. There's real narcissists out there. So I think that's the issue as well, is that, you know, people jump on trends.
That's what it is, trends.
But I think it's the drive to understand. People just want to understand things. They want to understand, why do I feel like this? You know, a lot of younger people are stressed. Think back in the day without phones, you were just maybe known in your end. If you did something stupid, only these people knew about it.
Yes.
With the
People that was there,
generation,
and they still have to
TikTok,
prove it.
Snapchat, your whole business is everywhere.
And
They feel like the end of
videos,
the world.
evidence.
Now people all over the people know you in countries
Exactly.
you don't even know
You
a country
leave one
exists.
school, you go to another, they know what you did.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you can leave one school, nobody knows about your business.
Yeah.
So the pressures of the younger generation are more. I'm not sure if it's more or not, if it's just more exposed.
It's more exposed.
It's more exposed rather than more, because our parents had they had same pressures that we have and differently. And also I think it's to do, you said, they have more time. When my mum came from Nigeria, she didn't have time to overthink. She was just there doing her cleaning job, let no immigration come and take me back to Nigeria. Now it's a little bit different. You know, you have more, like you said, you're more on your phone. I can see what's happening in Nigeria. I can get emotionally riled up by that. See what's happening in Somalia. You do not have time to think about, you're just thinking about you and your child and
Yeah.
your family. So the way, I don't know, the receptors, your antennas are much more bigger. They pick up on more things as well.
Yeah,
that's
I
that's so
definitely
true.
agree with that. And you could end up in a situation where the world kind of seems like 1,000 times worse than what it is, because, like you said, you're just so easily connected.
Because negativity is being pushed all over social media, so that's what we're mainly seeing.
Yeah.
All the time, like that will get the fastest retweets than something that is
No.
positive.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're not seeing as much positive in our faces. So it's just keeping us down. Everyone's emotion. I don't mean with Twitter. I just tweet and I bust out. I don't even look at no one's tweets really. I just go on there, tweet out, retweet, gone.
Like you said about trends, and there's another word that has been winding me up over the last year or so. Ask my mental health. Everyone's got mental health. You've got to have some kind of mental health, but they're throwing it out there that it's like a get out of jail free card. Ask my mental health. What
Free
mental
Wiley, you
health?
get me?
Okay, I get you've got an issue. You could say, it's because of my mental health. But they said, mental health. What does that mean? Like, no, it's my mental health playing up. What does that mean? No, that's some throwaway comment. And I think people are just now, because of all this information that's accessible to people, they're just throwing it out there. I done that because of my mental health. Mental health was acting up today. I'm like, are you not having a laugh? Is this a joke to you? Like, how can you just say things like that?
Some people are taking it for a joke.
Yeah, I suppose that can be the dark side of things, like social media, because you could stick in any like symptom, mental health wise or physical, and it come back, you could have this. So then it's just like, like you said before, it's kind of like a real balancing act with these kind of things, and it's just social media has just opened up a whole
kind of worms it has.
Because the thing about that mental health, because I don't know if anyone watched and I'm not going to bring it back, Zizi and Wiley thing, and she asked a question, and she said, do you have mental health? Because some people think Wiley
suffer?
It's like, well, no, do you have mental health issues? Because we all have mental health. You don't go, do you have
Exactly.
health? Do you have physical health? It's
My physical health's playing up today.
But because again, it's a whole, people are now with awareness. This is what's going to happen when you like Black Lives Matter. You just see somebody, have a toothpick back. You just think like, where's it going? Like toothpick. When awareness comes,
that's true.
Why did you take the time to put it on the toothpick? BLM, baby.
BLM,
so that's what happened. So with mental health, I think what people are really trying to say is, you know what, I can't cope right now. I'm a bit stressed. I'm a bit anxious. Anxious again doesn't mean you've got anxiety.
You can be anxious.
Naturally, we're anxious about things. You can be actually excited.
Man's up.
If you got a show, let's say like when man's done live shows and the night before, you think man's gonna get a good rest before that show.
Yeah.
Big man
Can't sleep.
Man can't sleep because it's like, what am I gonna say? Have I got this prepared? You're anxious. You get what I'm saying? But people try and use the word anxiety for anything.
blanket term.
Just a blanket term. Do you get what I'm saying? Which is not good.
My food.
It's hard to separate things.
Exactly.
My food's in the microwave. Oh, my anxiety's kicking in. How many seconds left? It says on the screen, you stupid ass.
What's wrong?
It annoys me, fam.
It does say it on the screen, innit?
Because some people are really suffering, and then you just want to just jump on the bandwagon.
That's the thing. People are really suffering, fam.
Yeah, don't belittle what what they're going through. With your me too. That's not a me too movement.
I suppose at this precise moment now we'll probably see a lot more going up because
of course,
October now. This was the final month for furlough. I don't know if they're extending it because I don't really watch the news like that.
And no more
so
second tier lockdown as well.
Oh yeah, second tier lockdown. So they're cutting off furlough. Also, the congestion, you don't see that congestion charge. They're trying to basically congestion charge the whole London.
Yeah, London's a congestion charge.
I don't know if it's 100% true, but obviously, when I work on transport, apparently the transport system's on verging of collapsing, basically, innit? Yeah, so they need people to cover.
But it feels busy now. It feels like people are getting back, but people are still not really.
But TFL bro.
What's a TFL bro?
TFL bro. To run the services and all of that, it cost them a lot of money. They was already losing money. They were already running at a loss. So they say anyway. Well, I don't really believe that because they own everything in London. But the transport services they're saying is not picking up, so they need everyone to pay £15 a day in every part of London, from the north top of North Circle out there to South Circle, isn't it?
Thank God I stopped
Covering
driving.
Brixton. Yeah, I think you're all right. Yeah, go
Thank God I
out.
stopped driving.
They're taking the mick though.
That's taking a piss though. So that means you're going to be living in congestion.
Yeah, I just gotta wake up and pay every day. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. It's
They
such a
need to get the money
violation.
from somewhere.
Yeah, not me. Get it from their
Yeah, but from the
brethrens.
drivers,
Get it
though.
from their brethrens.
I said they're brethren.
Yeah, they're multi-millionaire. Everyone give me a
They
quick
probably got
2 mil.
bonuses this year.
Right. They're putting it up so they don't lose their bonus. They're broke because they're like, listen, we already taken our bonus. There's a hole to fill. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right. So
So yeah, well, so that's gonna pick up with the furlough. People are probably gonna.
people can't afford to live in, but they was anyway. But I gotta go, or I'm gonna have to end up coming to visit you next week with bare trouble.
I got a roll too, man.
They're rubbish.
All that rubbish there, man.
Hello?
Hey, you don't allow it, man. My mental health.
No.
That's it. Nice meeting you, yeah.
Nice meeting
That's
you.
it.
I was enjoying myself as well.
We're saying, man's dinner's in the microwave, yeah?
Huh?
Man's dinner in the microwave.
Don't.
Huh?
Don't.
Is that what's happening?
No, because if I don't go and do what I need to do, come to sleep there and then I'm booking a visit with both of you. Individually, I'm going to need the real
Get
stuff.
me? But,
You say you gone?
yeah, come on. You know. But what else is there to cover with the mental health now? Well, the therapy side of things.
He looks like he's got lots of questions.
Yeah, he has.
You know what it is? It's like
It's like you don't want to let them out.
no. It's just like how do you like
What's your perception
of what
of
therapist?
therapy? I think you said it slightly, but what do you feel?
I feel like you got a difficult job. It is a difficult job because when someone's going through certain things, like it's mad how you can try and tell them how they should feel or tell them where it's coming from, like, and you ain't been in that position that they've been in. Do you know what I mean? So that's my only thing is like, how do you kind of get the understanding when you ain't been in that situation that person's been in, kind of thing.
That's a good question still. Wait,
Yeah, because if I've been
take that man and then do that man again.
Yeah, because if I've been shot up and I don't know, my older brother's died and my mum's on this drug or whatever, like, how can you? And then I move a certain way because of that. How you? What's wrong?
Yeah, turn it around. Yeah, that
mad?
So my answer would be therapy isn't necessarily based. So if I'm just giving an example, if someone said they've had a miscarriage and they've never experienced that, but I might have. I'm empathizing with the pain of the loss.
Okay.
No, I haven't had a miscarriage, so I'm not going to know how it exactly feels, but you've lost something. And that is what I connect with, the loss, because we've all lost things. If someone says that they've been betrayed by so-and-so, no, I was not betrayed by so-and-so either, but I can empathise with the betrayal, because we've been betrayed. Not saying I've gone through everything,
Gone
but
through the same
emotions,
kind of, yeah.
the pain,
But
the
at the
desolation.
but at the pain that they're feeling though, you can get the understanding of a betrayal, but the level of betrayal that they went through, or how they felt at that miscarriage, do you know what I mean?
Well, then that's what I would say to the person. So some clients will come in, not all clients will come in wanting you to exactly feel, they just want to feel understood. They want to be held, they don't want to be present. There might be some clients that want you to feel that, then I might say, what is going on that you feel? I need to feel the level of pain. What is that? What does that mean? But majority of people just want to be understood or to be seen. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you know, if you've had a miscarriage and your partner obviously had the miscarriage with you, it'd be difficult to talk to him or her because you're going through it together. And you want to be strong for each other. Yeah. So when you're talking to somebody else, you just want to be seen and heard without anything added into that relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
And if you've got something, how else to...
Well, yeah, no, I was just going to say...
You might get as a man sometimes, the female's going, you don't understand because you've never had a baby.
Things like that.
Yeah, the relationship between men,
and it, you know, because it may be that you go through something like that as a man, and as a man coming to therapy, that it may be that your partner is saying, you can't understand, or you've not supported me, you've been useless. So actually, when you come to see your therapist, you I suppose offload would be the wrong word, but like you were saying about being heard, look, this is how she made me feel. Made me feel like a piece of rubbish or whatever. And as Esther was saying, you can empathise with that, and you can be with someone in that without having actually been in it.
So you see how you say like sometimes you might be stressed or you can't cope and you might need to use someone. Like, do you lot don't go to work under that stress? So you say sometimes you might wake up saying, today's a stressful day or whatever, but do you still go to work and see clients when you're underneath that stress and you can't cope?
Let's say it's a day where you just don't want to chat to nobody.
If it was really that bad, and I felt that I couldn't give the client the service that they deserve or what they need, then yeah, I wouldn't. But because we have our own, so I have weekly personal therapy where I'm kind of working out a lot of stuff. I have supervision for my clients as well, so that kind of it doesn't make you bulletproof, but it gives you a good grounding of kind of better understanding yourself and what's going on for you. So, you know, if I woke up and I was like just really stressed and I wasn't on it now, what I might do, although I haven't been doing it lately, is, you know, it might be like, I don't know, I'm gonna do some mindfulness meditation, or I'm gonna.
I was just gonna ask, do you do meditation as well?
Yeah. Or you know, I'm gonna walk the dog, or do you know what? Let me just put on a PS4 and play The Witcher for like a couple of hours. Just do certain things that I know will support me when I am stressed, or whatever's going on with me that will support me to help me kind of level out. Because that's what I'd say the brilliant thing is with therapy, where we were discussing earlier about tools. You just start to understand, okay, this certain process is going on in me, whether I be upset, angry, or whatever. I know that if I do these things, that will kind of help me level off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, proper. All right, so then now what we need to do is try and encourage some young black men to come over to Frontline therapists and get some therapy.
Yeah, man.
If they need it out there, if there's anyone that needs it, if anyone that's going through a stressful time, anyone that's had a mad 2020, I don't know if you've lost anybody, if anything, do you get what I'm saying? Then where can they get you? Where can they find you?
So you can find us on www.frontlinetherapist.com or Frontline Therapist on Instagram. I did mention to Smokes that anyone that reaches out to him, you know, just put through, and then, you know, we'll give you a discount on your first session and assessment as well. So if you are thinking that, you know, what you've been seeking therapy, or, you know, you just feel there's some barriers, I think what I can't remember his name said. He said,
Wes,
no one's gonna know. Yeah. You know, I like that. It's like, you know, you don't have to announce it to anybody.
No, you don't.
So you can just come because you know that you want to better yourself, but you ain't got to tell anybody. It's your money that's coming out. It's coming out of your account. So you just come through, holler at them man there on Twitter and Instagram.
Or hashtag on the Twitters, or just go to the website dmdlive.co.uk directly, and then I'll put you through.
Definitely. And
we can work something out.
It's illegal for you lot to give therapy to people you know.
It's not it's unethical.
Unethical, that's sorry, it's illegal, you know. Like
it's illegal, like when someone in real need, I'm registered therapy, I can't give you therapy.
So imagine, so your friend comes to you and he's not coping in life, and well, you would refer him to somebody else, but he might want, but because you've got that relationship with him, you might your whole like.
But I suppose you must give some sort of therapy. Like if one of your brethren will come to you with a relationship problem, you have to say, listen.
Oh, yeah.
So leave that one then, I'm joking.
You would do, but then if it's going to go deep in that, because what I would say in my personal therapy, like my best mate, we're like brothers.
Yeah.
But even in personal therapy, there are things that I just can't say to him. And not even secrets, just like, I know if I say this certain thing that he's always going to give me this certain reaction, which may not be what I want to hear or whatever. And that's why what we were saying earlier, like you go somewhere and you see someone without that judgment in terms of, if I say this, you're not going to say, oh, well, you know, you need to just cheer up and stuff like that, because that's not. But
even no matter what response they give you, it's like you know that response because you know that person.
Yeah.
it's like you already know that response. So
Exactly.
maybe you might need another response. Like, and if they do say the same thing, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Boom. But I get what you're saying, yeah, because people that's the closest to you, you technically know what they're gonna, what kind of combo you're gonna have with them. Yeah.
But you can be therapeutic.
No, it can
So
be
you
that,
can-
yeah.
No, what I mean is
Oh,
you can be therapeutic to your friends. So
Yeah.
it won't be a therapy session, but yes, I'm there for you, and I can use the tools in a more expansive way where I'm not being a therapist, but I can now, whereas maybe 10 years ago, it would just be like, oh yeah, that was sad. Actually, I know how to answer and respond. But we're not having a therapy session. There's no contract, because when you enter into a therapy session, you are under a contract because it's a different relationship. Remember, you don't really know anything about your therapist. That's a weird relationship. If I'm talking to you in my business, I don't know nothing about you. I don't know if you got kids. I might not even know your surname. I don't know if you're married or not. That's a different level of relationship. So when you already know all of these things about a person, that's a different dynamic, and you're not really entering into a contract. But yes, you will be therapeutic on work. But yeah, it is unethical. I'm sure people do it, but I don't think it always ends up well sometimes, and sometimes you just...
It can backfire,
It
innit?
can backfire.
Yeah.
It can backfire.
So
And
you told me, and you're meant to be...
exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Throwing bare blame around there.
You get what I'm
Yes,
saying?
man.
Yeah, but I was just giving you advice, though. Like, I never told you that this is what you was meant to do.
Yeah.
And some people don't understand that sometimes. That's why you might need someone that's not, because it's easier for them to just give you that advice. And sometimes therapists, as I said, when I went to therapy, they dive straight in. There weren't no petting around on conversation. It was like, yo, straight to the point. Yo, boom, what is the problem? I said, right. You're not going to ask man's name or nothing. Like, you're not going to get to know me. But I didn't know what therapy was like when man first went. But I thought, right, like, no, this was instantly like that. Like, it was funny. No, because you see, I think that why she was just asked, like, why are you here? The next question was, bam. I said, whoa. Right.
Because if you don't mind me asking, how long did you have therapy for?
It was about 6 or 7 weeks.
Okay.
I don't think that's long, is it? So, but it was like, it was like 6 weeks.
Yeah,
6,
because you
7
can
weeks.
have short term and long term. But
Yeah.
I mean, because what was going through my mind when Esther was speaking about the whole kind of relationship and how there are certain things that the client may not know, is that even though there are certain things that a client may not know about you, over time in long term therapy, it can become
They get
like
to know
really
you.
strong relationship. And what I found most difficult, so like I said, I've been seeing clients for a year, is ending. That actually like really. So I remember one particular client, because I was in a different placement and I knew we were finishing up in about 5 weeks, and all my other clients, I'd said to them, right, just to let you know, we're going to be finishing in 5 weeks. Yeah, no worries. With this client, I didn't want to say anything to her because I was really worried, because I knew she'd had abandonment issues. And I remember kind of mentioning it towards the end of the session, and it was just like, oh, right, okay. And we kind of finished up the session, and for the whole week, I was just like, oh, man.
Yeah, that must be hard then, because
Because when you're ending it, it's like...
it's like you're reset. You're pressing the reset button on what she initially came.
And his hurting might not be... I didn't even get really into the story. That was starting next week. So now the fees have gone up.
Yeah, the following week, it was one of those things where I could have just ignored it and just been like, oh, we carry on as we are until we get to the end. But I kind of actually said to her, I was very aware when I mentioned it, your reaction, how was that for you? And it kind of did tease out that, I was kind of a bit shocked and I was a bit sad, because we had built up quite a nice relationship and I've been sharing a lot. Actually, the day that we ended in our final session, that was, I'm not afraid to admit it, that was difficult for me with all 4 of my clients, because I've been with them for pretty much a year.
I'll be honest, even like mine weren't long. But I feel like when it comes to that last session, it's like, oh yeah, so last session and thinking, rah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell you something next week.
No, not even that. I'm thinking like, well, you got to know, man. I told you a lot about me. You can't give man a 1 free session. Like, well, you start to think like, yeah, we built a relationship.
Yeah, they
so now
owe
I
you
don't have to
something
pay
like
no more.
that.
Like, but it's not that. Like, yo, when's the browser? But at the same time, going for it, I was like, it is worth the money. And if you, some are expensive and some is not. But no matter what, if you can afford it, I would say go. It's definitely proper investing in yourself and getting to learn more about yourself to have a better understanding when you go out to the world. You get what I'm saying? It helps you understand triggers and things like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we've all, every single one of us, we've all got our own stuff, whatever it may be, and it's affected all of us in various different ways. And sometimes we're completely unaware of how it's affected us.
Yeah.
It's only until you start talking to someone that you notice things, or sometimes we are aware, but you know, I can say from my own personal point of view, it's one of the best things that I've done because I'm learning stuff about myself.
Yeah, 100%.
All the time. So I would definitely recommend it. It's not something to be ashamed of. If anything, it's something to be lauded, I think.
No, 100%. When people start going anyway, they will understand it. It's not until you get there until you realise like,
Definitely.
oh, rah.
So if we wanted to have you as therapist, it's not ethical, is it now? Because we've got some type of... Not saying we've got some...
It's not that it's not ethical. It'll be more about, you know, we have to talk about it, but you know, would you be comfortable? You know, would you be
Yeah,
comfortable?
would you be comfortable?
No, but I'm just saying, as in, yeah,
would
because...
you be comfortable? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Technically still don't know you.
I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know you,
I don't
fam.
know you.
So
But
you can,
would you
get
be
me.
comfortable?
I'm just saying, innit?
Do you understand? Because I said someone that I knew of, and she recognised me, and then she said, "I'm comfortable," you know. And I said, "As long as you're comfortable," I was only assessing her. I wasn't going to be seeing her. I said, "As long as you're comfortable," you know, because I don't know you, but I know of you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a small world, so you're kind of probably
Small
going. I'm
world.
probably going to assess the few influencers, so I know of them already. So I told them, look, I know of you. If you're okay with that, let's keep it moving because it's all confidential. Who am I saying it to? I ain't saying it to anybody.
Exactly,
I don't know your friends or your family. I wanted to say about the service guys, those that are listening, is that it is affordable. So you can pay as low as 25 quid, and obviously if you can afford it, pay 20, 30, 45 quid. So you can literally be paying as low as 25 and get the same quality as someone paying 35. It's really what you can afford.
That's what I was thinking. Make sure.
That's real. No, that's real because that's a very good price.
Yeah, because most therapy on
It was like
average...
£90.
Exactly.
Yes,
Big
fam.
dough,
A week is
fam.
big dough, fam. So you don't need to jump on that
That
quickly.
come with the drink and... that,
Didn't you know when man clocked
yeah,
man, they get
fam.
no juice, you
No
know?
drink, no food, no nothing with that big money, fam. It's a bill, you know.
You know, really, she should have gave man juice and a sweets. Something, you get me? Make man I didn't even get to sleep, like not lie on the bed, but I could have just...
Lie on the bed.
It's like, you get, just rest man's feet, just... But anyway, cool.
That's mad.
But no, definitely, that's affordable. That is good because it is expensive out there. So if you can, as we said, hit up DMD, live.co.uk, and we'll put you through. We'll try to get you more clients.
Just want to say, your favourite artist is in therapy. Just know that. They may not be saying it, but they are. So many artists and so many footballers are in therapy.
I thought you was giving us an exclusive. I'm not gonna lie to you,
I'm
know.
going to reply back to this chip send still, and I don't know what to do.
I'm not even eating now.
No, I'm just saying that literally, because I was speaking to someone, and I just realised a lot of people are on therapy more than you think they are.
Yeah.
A lot more people need to go into.
Yeah.
But, you know, even if you listen to a number of interviews of a lot of the artists, they mention something that they spoke to somebody, you know.
I feel like a lot of artists and footballers, and it comes with their packages now, innit? A lot of the clubs and that.
a lot of clubs have got on
encourage
board
them to-
psychotherapists because, like, especially if you're a footballer where you're performing at a high elite level, and then you got to deal with if you get dropped or like perfect example was watching the Manchester City All or Nothing. Like, I didn't realise Aguero lives on his own, like his ex-missus and kid in Spain. So he's living in Manchester on his own. So, you know, you're living on your own. I don't know how well he speaks English.
Yeah.
But he's in Manchester. He's nowhere near, you know,
But
Argentina
you know
or
what
Spain.
most people will say? He's got money though. He's cool. He's all right.
Yeah, see,
That's
this
what
is
most
a-
people will say.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, even if you're
More
getting
money,
paid,
more problems.
even if you're getting paid £500,000 a week, you still got the same.
Yeah, you're
issues
lonely.
as someone
Still
that gets
coming
paid
home
£50
alone,
a
like.
week.
And they're probably more lonely because who can you really be around? Like, I'm worth all of this money.
Yeah.
I can't just walk out on the road to Tesco's and just say, yo,
Yeah.
I'm Aguero. in Manchester. So it's they can't just maneuver how they want to maneuver because they got paparazzi, everyone's following them. So he must really feel some sort of pressure. Do you get what I'm saying? But people will say in England, yeah, well, he's got money though, and he's good, man.
Yeah.
He just take a flight to Spain then.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? They would do that. But, that's pressure as well. So, I do know that a lot of people are getting, a lot of clubs, a lot of high people do have therapists around them, or they try and encourage them to get therapy because they got to handle a lot, like the pressures, the money, the people. There's so much coming at them, and you still got to be on TV.
Yeah.
Then the media come on you. It's peak when the media come on you. So
yeah, because they're doing that a lot of younger players now as well, academy players, because of the fact that you can be full phone and be like the next big thing, and then all of a sudden you've got press at your door, you've got all the adulation, the money, the women, the cars,
and everything's getting. It's more money now, more sponsors, more. Yeah. So the youngers are getting even more money than, let's say, 10 years ago when they were young. Yeah, it's crazy now. So yeah, man, I don't know, but yeah, we need to build this. So that's just that one's just this one. This episode's just for men, by the way, black men. Put that right. Yeah, they're the one because we're encouraging. We're encouraging men. Yeah. More men to come forward. Yeah. That's what we're encouraging right now. Cause we need to help ourselves and. You get me? Trust me, but no, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No, you're always welcome to come.
I love
we're gonna do these episodes regular because
we have to.
We was gonna do it quicker, but obviously COVID. Remember, because we was gonna do it in March. We said after October,
like May or something. Yeah.
But then COVID kicked in. But it's a good time to do it. Black History Month as well. Even though I know we don't really celebrate Black History Month because Black History is every month for us.
Yes,
exactly.
You get me? So have you, man, ever missed the presence of an old John? I don't know what that means, but we'll get into the message.
That means miss like the presence of like an old link.
Oh, okay, John.
Yeah, that's what they use. That's what the American uses, isn't it?
Oh, okay,
yeah. Come here, forgetting time. You gotta get with the times.
International, yeah. All right, wait. So there's this girl I was chatting to from last year, and she liked man deeply, and I took her for granted, and I regret it. Ever since I stopped chatting to her, she's always been on my mind, and it's been over a year now. What do you think I should do? What should I do to move on properly?
So he doesn't want her back.
Well, maybe can't get her back.
So he's just trying to. Okay, that's a hard one still.
Get what he regrets it deeply. Maybe you need to reach out to her. Have you tried to reach out to her? Have you tried?
Yeah, but he's not trying to reach out to her. He said move on.
Yeah, but if you think about it, he said it was the girl he was chatting to. And she liked him deeply, and he took her for granted. So he's taken something for granted, and he regrets it. So the first step he needs to do is try to get that back. If you can't get her back, then you need to move on properly. Unless you're telling us that
he's tried to get her back because she don't want.
Basically.
And he needs to move on.
So if that's the case, then you need to move on. If you ain't moved on already, but a year though.
A whole year. Should have bust out lost.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You need to just focus on having fun with yourself, or find another one to occupy.
What's have fun with yourself, you know?
I need to find something else to occupy his time. You get me?
What do you reckon?
Do you know what?
How would you get rid of?
Right. Therapeutically, I would say.
No, don't.
Right. I would say.
Therapeutic.
I would say, write a letter of all the things that you would like to say to her, so you get it, so you kind of get it off your chest. Just write a letter.
That's a good one, and put it through a door.
You could do that.
I think you meant to put it somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Put
it through a door.
Exercise it, get it off your chest.
She would call you immediately. Now, big man, if you wrote a letter to a female telling her how you feel and you regret all of this properly, honestly.
Because it's thoughtful, isn't it? No one's doing that now. It's so easy to go on the WhatsApp and tap.
You know
but to sit down and write.
With a one rose attached to it. Like old school. You get what I'm saying? Come on.
That might be too much.
Because he wants to move on. What I would say, and this is not even a therapy thing, is okay, so just wonder why. Why did he take advantage of her? Why did he take advantage of her? What was going on there? And then the best way to, to show anything, if he wants to win her back, is change behaviour. So focusing on yourself in a positive way, like just put yourself in a position, where do you want to be in a couple of years? And focus on that, and maybe she or somebody else. But he has to deal with the why did he do that? Because if not, he can make the same mistake in another relationship and then constantly have regrets of I'm really taking advantage of the people that I like. What's going on?
You might not have the answer why he did that. You might just say, "Yeah, I was an idiot," and that's it.
But
I don't think anyone actually sits down and says, "Yeah, I did this because
people
in my childhood when I was
people are doing that because
Okay.
they have time to think. If you have hurt somebody, if he's really feeling that, feeling the regret, he's feeling regret.
Yeah, because he sounds like he's really feeling it. I've never seen a message like this from a brother before. I'm not gonna lie.
He feels the regret of, oh wow, and that girl must have been not just on her. She must have been a good girl for him.
Yeah.
The one that got away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I think that's what it is. He's seen and he's like, right, nah.
Or maybe it was just too good to be true. Maybe he didn't trust how she was moving, because sometimes when you're not used to them things, you kind of.
But isn't that reflection then? Reflecting that, right, I've never seen that type of love before, so when I saw it, I just didn't think it was good, so I just trampled all over it. Or, you men love to say, when I was 16, I met a girl and she hurt me, and then now I'm gonna...
Yeah. No, but it's true though. When man was 16, one girl hurt man still.
And then use
first heartbreak.
That could be, the first heartbreak thing. So every other girl, he just, causes heartbreak for them. But I think it's about reflecting. You start off with there, you get to that point, and maybe writing it down. Men do have journals. I don't know if people write it down, or spoken word. Rap is another way of getting that.
Trust.
So people write it down. So then you got to rap it. But a lot of men nowadays have journals. You just write it down. You write your thoughts. You write your anger. You write your regrets. And then you even, what are your hopes and future? If she's not in your future, what is your future going to look like? Because if she ain't going to be there, you got to have a future. And you got to now begin to visualize what you want to look. You don't want to be 10 years still thinking about the girl who's moved on, married with kids.
Yeah, that is a great, but there you go. There's your answer.
I'm done.
Now that's actually the answer, you get me? You got to visualize your future. Don't visualize her.
What if you visualize future and she's in it?
So I have to change the face.
So change the face.
If I change the future, you get me? Because you control your future, innit? So you can have whoever you want in it. There you go. Right,
And don't take no one for granted again.
Innit?
I lie.
I lie. Maybe this is a lesson learned for him, no? Let me connect this. All right, we're gonna do bangers. What's your banger, Esther?
You're going to laugh.
Yeah, you could lock that one. Huh? Oh yeah, well, we gotta do that all again, because it's all mad. But yeah, anyway, follow DMDlive.co.
Bro, you're right over there.
Why don't
Look over that man while rap.
DMDlive.co.uk, you get me? Hit us up with the bangers, any dilemmas, any topics, any questions, anything like that. So we're gonna get into banger of the week right now.
This is going to be...